The protest of free Poles took place in front of the Polish Sejm and later in front of the Prime Minister's office. The public has shown that it does not agree with the violation of the law by the new government. From its very first days, Donald Tusk's government began extra statutory actions, forcibly attempting to take over public media. For the first time since 1989, the public television signal was turned off. The detention of law and justice deputies, people who fought against corruption for years, and their incarceration is another reason citizens wish to express their opposition. Today, I am a chairman of the Gdansk shipyard trade union Solidarity. In 1988, I was with Tusk, and today we are on opposite barricades. What we fought for in 1988 is in danger now. Our freedom, democracy, and what Tusk is doing is against the constitution. And what he did 2 days ago was just a help for Putin. Entering the presidential palace in such a way, the first person who should open champagne is Putin in Moscow. I came here because I do not agree with what is happening in our country right now. I am concerned about lawlessness, and we are not used to it after so many years since the fall of communism. I felt safe. I was falling asleep in Poland, and I knew I would wake up in Poland. But now I am not so sure. I'm going to bed now, and I am waking up in a kind of foreign country. We are all very surprised by such a situation in Poland. No one thought that in a supposedly democratic country, after 30 years of democracy, such forceful actions would come back. It is unacceptable. I'm ashamed of Poland right now. I'm ashamed of the people who are representing Poland. The whole world knows about it. These men were walking around in T-shirts with the Constitution logo on it, and now they have done everything to just destroy those T-shirts. We will be on top. We will be free. We will be a nice Polish nation which will unite, and we will show that Poland should stay Poland. They are in prison because they were fighting corruption at the highest level, and those who are ruling today, they do not accept that. This sphere of so-called elites has to be free from any kind of dangers. They can do whatever they want, including stealing however they want. And that's what they were fighting against. And they have to be free. And the time will come when they will do again what they have been doing for years, fighting corruption. If we are to win, we need to change this government. They are not even in power for a full month yet, because there are 2 more days to go to mark their first month, because it's the government of the 13th of December. And this is very characteristic. They, and you have heard about it, they are talking that there are some elements of martial law. So this is a very characteristic and symbolic date. And we, ladies and gentlemen, we need to stop this government who started implementation of this plan at the right moment using the ballot. We need to change, but change it in a way that they would not come back, because it's not the Polish government. Prime Minister Donald Tusk's government was sworn in less than a month ago on the 13th of December. In just 7 days, Bartłomiej Sienkiewicz's strongmen forcibly entered the headquarters of the public media. The broadcast signal of Telewizja Polska Info was turned off, and an attempt was made to install new heads of the supervisory boards of public television, Polish radio, and the Polish press agency, using a Sejm resolution. However, the document adopted the day before is only the opinion of Parliament. Only the National Media Council may legally appoint and dismiss the composition of the supervisory boards. On the 29th of December last year, the prosecutor's office opened an investigation into the possibility that Culture Minister Bartłomiej Sienkiewicz exceeded his powers. Meanwhile, on Wednesday, the Registry Court issued a decision to refuse to enter the change in the data in the National Court Register regarding Telewizja Polska. The decision indicated that the resolution to appoint members of the company's supervisory board and management board was adopted by an unauthorized body. Today, the liquidator closed the building of the television news agency, and cordons of police blocked the entrances to the building. The case of parliamentarians Maciej Wąsik and Mariusz Kamiński also sparked public outrage. Despite the imposition of an act of clemency on them, the court sentenced the 2 MPs to 2 years in prison. While Kamiński and Wąsik were at the presidential palace, police entered the building and detained the politicians. The actions of the services, which are subordinate to the Minister of Interior, Marcin Kierwiński, were even criticised by former Civic Platform Prime Ministerial candidate Jan Maria Rokita. Today's protest is meant to be a red card for Donald Tusk's government, which is committing unlawful actions. The public has sent an important signal that it is watching and will continue to watch the authorities. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky arrived in Tallinn on the second day of his tour of the 3 Baltic states. He was welcomed by Estonian President Alar Karis. President Zelensky addressed the Estonian Parliament during his visit to Tallinn.
Воля до перемоги.
We must win this battle, not only because it decides the fate of our country and all the countries and peoples that have to border Russia. This battle decides what the global attitude to freedom will be like, now and after us, and after our children, and after our grandchildren. Freedom must be able to win in confrontations unleashed by tyranny.
У цій битві вирішується, яким буде і зараз.
Earlier in the day, Zelensky held a press conference with Estonian Prime Minister Kaja Kallas.
І ви знаєте, що на сьогодні
You know that currently there is a delay and that there was blocking of a large financial package without which it is simply impossible to survive. Well, let's say hard, because nothing is impossible, basically, but very hard. And this aid is very important to us.
в принципі,
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky also arrived in Riga to meet Latvian President Edgars Rinkēvičs on Thursday. During his trip to Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia, Zelensky hopes to push back against fatigue among Ukraine's Western allies, secure more financial and military aid, and discuss Kiev's bids to join NATO and the European Union. Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia are among Kiev's staunchest supporters in the European Union and the NATO military alliance, and provided Ukraine with military aid even in the weeks leading up to Russia's full-scale invasion on the 24th of February 2022.
Скажімо так,
More than half the rooms in the hotel were booked. One of the injured is a foreign journalist.
можемо сказати, лише констатувати, що це може бути
This could be either an S-300, which is most likely, or Iskander missile, which Russians have used to hit Kharkiv lately.
останнім часом по місту Харкова.
Two Russian missiles struck a hotel in the center of Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv, late on Wednesday night, injuring 11 people, two seriously, the regional governor said. Video released by the State Emergency Service of Ukraine showed many of the windows blown out and balconies destroyed with large piles of rubble in the street below. Emergency teams were seen transporting a man into an ambulance and working around debris-strewn areas of the hotel. Kharkiv Governor Oleh Syniehubov, writing on Telegram, said that the strike at about 10:30 p.m. local time involved S-300 missiles striking the city's Kiev district. Psychiatrist Mikhailo Bebeshko was one of the hotel guests.
Момент вибуху.
I didn't hear the air raid alert. I was in the bathroom, and it saved me. I fell and hit my head. Then I lay down on the floor. During the second explosion, the doors were blown out. Good thing that I was lying down on the floor. Personnel of various humanitarian organizations and regular people stayed here. I came back from training in the evening. The people were dining. I saw there was a family with children. There were other children as well.
Сім'я там була, я бачив.
The Russian Defense Ministry did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Poland's president said on Thursday that he had started proceedings to pardon two of the former government's ministers who were jailed this week for abuse of power, escalating his standoff with the new administration. Former Interior Minister Mariusz Kamiński and his deputy Maciej Wąsik were arrested on Tuesday in a high-profile raid on the presidential palace and taken to prison. The announcement by President Andrzej Duda was the latest twist in a saga that has left the country in political turmoil since power passed to a new government after last October's elections. At the lady's request, I have decided to initiate the pardon proceedings. I want these proceedings to be done absolutely according to all constitutional and legal standards. Therefore, the pardon motion is now sent to the Prosecutor General. According to Article 568 of the Criminal Code, it is possible for the Prosecutor General to suspend the execution of the sentence and for the Prosecutor General to release the inmates for the duration of the proceedings. I am applying to the Prosecutor General for this expressis verbis.